Alright, so a bit of a fleet update with motorcycles anyway. I still got my 400. This is my fiance's bike. If you remember the KZ440, that was hers. We traded that last summer for an 85 GS750. It ran fine, but it was kind of a roach bodywork wise and shitty modifications. And then last weekend we traded that straight across for this. We do have the seat. This thing wasn't running. It's in nice original shape, but the problem with it not running was the frame was grounded to the new battery the guy installed, but the engine was not grounded. Once I grounded the engine and the frame to the battery, fired it right up and ran. It's got some old fuel in it, but it ran. So I think this was a pretty good deal. The 250 is still here. I put a new front tire on it. Or not a new front tire. I put a new front tire on my DR350. And I put the old front tire on this. And then that in the back is also my fiance's. It's an 85, I think. Maybe an 84. It's an early 80s XT200. And again, that was a pretty good deal. We didn't really have to do anything to it. It just kind of started up and ran and worked. But anyway, on top of what you see here, I picked this up on Tuesday. It's a GS400 parts bike, 82, just like mine. I was told it runs. The starter's a little bit too weak. I got it to cough, but I couldn't get it to run. Why did I buy this? Well, for parts, really. You may remember my swing arm is bent. This one is not. And this one has the proper 17-inch rear wheel that the bike should have. Mine's got a 16-inch because it's been replaced. And also, this frame isn't bent. I will show comparison of this one to the other bike in a minute. But I pretty much wanted this for the frame. Now, I don't have a title for this VIN, so I can't just swap all my good parts onto this frame. And I don't want to restamp the neck, because I'm very sure that is not legal, and I can't think of a way, even if I wanted to do it, which I can't think of a way I could make it look nice and not like I've just restamped the VIN. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to do my measurements, find where my frame is bent and where my frame is straight, and I'm going to cut. I'm going to replace pretty much just this tail section of frame. Also, if necessary, the down tubes right in this area, actually on the other side. But yeah, so that's the plan. Alright, so here's what I mean. You can see this crack here. The bike was hit in its past life. This weld looks a little funny to me, but I just measured across here. We're only out by a 16th on the two frames, which is probably fine. Here we're out by a 16th, which is probably fine. Where it gets tricky though is these two tubes, they aren't symmetrical. One's back here, one's up here. So I'd probably make the cut shortly before this cross member. This little cross brace here for the gas tank mount, you can see it's bent down. It's not supposed to be like that, so it has probably shifted at some point. And also, if you look at this cross member here, it's peaked in the middle, the other one's flat. And also, if you look between these two mounts here for the fender and rear seat, 6.5 inches. Come over to the other frame. You're looking at a hair under 6. And you can see that's flat. That's flat. I think I'll probably cut it right about here. Sorry, right about here. Just ahead of this gas tank mount. I think we'll be okay. And then maybe halfway down these tubes. We'll see. Because on the other bike as well, right on here, it's twisted. Like, almost like somebody, like it was in, somebody tried to bend it back. You see right there. So yeah, about halfway down these tubes, I think. And then ahead of the gas tank mount. And I think we'll be okay. So yeah, I think that's my plan. I'm not going to be tackling that today. I think the big thing for me today is I want to get this dismantled. Strip any usable parts, get rid of the rest of it. Because I don't have a ton of room here and I'm tired looking at junk all over the place, so I'll try and move, get this one recycled and out of here as soon as possible. So that's going to be my plan today, is getting it dismantled. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize the camera battery died. That tool came in handy. I did get tired of unbolting it nicely, and I cut the just kind of cut the motor mounted section of the frame. You can kind of see it under there. Just cut that out because, well, one, I got bored and tired of doing it. Two, if I wanted to, say, sell that to someone who wanted to build a go-kart out of it, now you've got a cradle with all the engine mounting. It just makes it easier to build a go-kart out of. So that was my thinking. So, I'm tired of being out here in the rain, so I'll separate the forks maybe another day. Get rid of the rest of the frame. I've got my swing arm, 17-inch rear wheel. I swapped the bars over too, because if you remember, mine were bent down and put a big dent in the tank. That actually, I think since the last time I did a video on this bike, I did start to kind of Bondo fill this in. I did pull the dents a little bit as best I could, and I Bondoed it. I've been primering it, and then that was kind of in the end of August, and then I bought the house, and things kind of stopped, and then it was winter and all that. But I don't know if I'm going to use this tank, because the tank that came on the cart seems to be just as rusty on the inside as this one. It's certainly treatable, but I'm pretty sure there's less Bondo in that tank. So we'll see. I might use that one. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, that's going to be all for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.